So the first thing I want to do today is adjust the preload on our rear shocks. Now this will raise or lower our suspension just slightly because we are either compressing or decompressing the spring in our shock, which is our preload. And currently it is set at the 1 setting, so it is the stiffest ride because our spring is compressed the most. So to make this a little more comfortable to ride, I want to adjust these up 1 or 2 clicks, which will decompress our spring a little bit, raise our rear suspension slightly, and hopefully give us a little more comfortable ride. Now to adjust this, we're going to use a spanner wrench. You can get these online. I bought this a long time ago for adjusting steering stem nuts. This will work perfectly for adjusting these. So what you're going to do is hook this into one of the holes on here, and that's going to give you the leverage you need to rotate it. I think we're going to start with just 1 click for now, and we'll test drive it and see how we like it. Let's go ahead and do this to the other side. Now we're going to do the same thing over here. Just going to make sure you're turning it the right way. And there you go. So adjusting our rear suspension is hopefully going to make this bike a little more comfortable. Now the next thing I want to do is make this bike a little more safe. And what we are going to do is reinstall our mirrors. Now these mirrors are in rough shape, as you can see. They have not been on the bike probably since this thing was purchased. So today I want to try and clean these things up to make them look just as good as the bike does. And to do this, a coworker of mine turned me on to Nevr-Dull. Now this is a metal polish, and it's like a wadding type stuff that you use to clean up all your metals, and it does a pretty good job. So I want to do a little before and after and see how clean we can get these mirrors. After that, we'll reinstall them onto the bike and then go for a test drive. All right, let's take a good look at this mirror, and hopefully this will be the last time it ever looks like this. Now let's see what this stuff will do. Definitely takes some elbow grease. And now let's look at it. Oh man, that's coming out pretty good. I'm going to actually try and just clean these off with some basic cleaner real quick, just to maybe remove some of the grime and stuff, and then go back through and try and polish them. Now this is the other stuff I use. It's original bike spirits. This stuff is really good at cleaning paint and also metal and stuff like that. So maybe I have to use some glass cleaner on that, and hopefully be able to clean that up. Beer won't do us any good if you can't see through the lens. All right, that's looking a lot better. Let's try the polish on it now. That is looking a lot better for sure. It's definitely not perfect, but from what it was to where it is now, pretty decent. I'm gonna grab some glass cleaner real quick and see if I can't clean this up. Otherwise, it's gonna be a wasted effort if this glass won't clean up. And they're cleaning up. They're just caked on here, but I think they'll be at least somewhat usable, maybe. Yeah, I think those are gonna be usable. So I'm gonna go ahead and finish cleaning these up off camera because it's gonna take quite some time to get these really clean. And then I'll do a little before and after I show you that, we'll get them reinstalled onto the bike. All right, now look at just how clean we got these. This one is the worst off one before we cleaned it, so it's not 100% perfect, but it is much better than what it was. And with this bright light shining on it, it's really showing all of the imperfections on it. But it really is in pretty decent shape. And then here's the other side, which I think cleaned up even better. And I do need to clean the mirrors on both of these just a tiny bit. And luckily, I knew I had some glass cleaner. So I found this. Let's go ahead and clean these up and get them ready to install. Just this one mirror was a lot worse than the other one, so. And while it's sitting, I'll spray this one. I think that one is done. All right, I think that one is also done. These mirrors have definitely seen better days, but I think they're gonna live to see more days. So now let's go ahead and reinstall these back onto the bike. We'll get them adjusted and then we'll tighten them down. All right, so let's go ahead and screw this into this hole. Okay, that is threaded all the way in, so I'm gonna back it up to get it in a general area of where we want it. And then I'm gonna snug this nut up on the bottom just to kind of hold it there. Now let's go ahead and do the same for the other side. So that's where it knocks out. So we'll back it up to here, kind of just snug it down. All right, now we're sitting on the bike. Let's go ahead and get our mirrors kind of adjusted how we would probably want them. I can tell you already that I do not like how low these mirrors sit to your hand. Like, that is not much space to get in there. Definitely see myself hitting those. At where they're at, maybe I can angle them up. Okay, that looks pretty decent. I like to see like my forearm in there so I can kind of see behind me but also see to my right. Let's adjust this one as well. That's starting to look a little bit better. All right, it's not perfect, but I can live with that. Let's go ahead and tighten down our adjustments. And I'm gonna snug those up pretty tight just because I don't want them vibrating loose on me. All right, let's go to the other side. I'm gonna snug up these. All right, let's recheck it. Oh yeah, I can live with that. It's not perfect, but definitely doable. And at least we have mirrors on here, so that helps quite a bit. They're gonna be better than nothing. So now let's go ahead and take this bike out for a test drive. All right, so the first thing I noticed right off the bat is it feels a little bit squishier in the rear end. Maybe a little bit more travel. I don't notice that I'm sitting any higher. I definitely still feel really low to the ground. So let's go ahead and get this thing out and see how it feels. Oh, that was a bump. Hey, that was definitely a little softer, I'd have to say. Yeah, that feels pretty good. So I think I'm just gonna leave these rear shocks where they're at right now, and over the course of time decide if I want to leave them where they're at or even maybe raise them up one more. I guess we'll just have to see, but right now it feels pretty decent. Oh, how I've missed you, mirrors. Man, it's so nice having mirrors. They cleaned up so well. They look so good. I can't even tell
with how much this bike vibrates. Like, it looks like they're pretty much brand spanking new. And they really don't look half bad on this bike, honestly. They're functional. They're actually really functional. That was a pretty big bump, but I didn't smash the suspension and hurt my tailbone, so yeah, the suspension's definitely working. Still pretty firm, but it's definitely better. And like I was saying, these mirrors, man, and there's actually a pretty good amount of room between here, between my hand and the mirror, so I don't feel like I'm gonna hit them. Maybe if I'm like not paying attention, put my hands back on, but I feel like they're actually not too bad. And like I said, the functionality of them is really nice. I can see behind me, I can see to the right. They're definitely functional. A lot more functional than some mirrors I have had, so that is a plus. One of these days I'll get out and do a 0 to 60 time on this bike. Maybe when I do my races against my buddy and his Rebel 1100, we'll maybe figure out what the times actually are. So, and that's why I like mirrors. I can see how close people get on my butt. That's gonna do it for today, guys. If you like what you saw here today, please help support me and support this channel by hitting that like button and subscribing for future videos. But until next time, guys, thanks so much for watching. Peace.